Hi everyone, and welcome to Blackwood Engage Layout, and the first update since I have in actual fact built the Helix. Now it's probably been best part of 2 months since I've actually done an update, principally because I have been really busy, A, at work, and B, working on the layout. The Helix has taken probably about 3 weeks to build. There's a lot going on with the layout at the moment in terms of new track laying getting done. Some of the layout has been taken up so that I can tie the Helix in. So there's actually probably too much to try and cram into one video. It'll just make it far too long. So what I'm really going to concentrate on this video is on the actual Helix. I'll show you the Helix and I'll tell you that I did have some issues with it. All have been resolved and the Helix does in actual fact work. So what we will do is we'll go over and we can have a look at the Helix, and I can explain some of the issues that I had and what I had to do to resolve them. So let's go to the Helix. So this is the finished Helix. There are 8 circles to take the trains from the lower fiddle yard up to the existing layout. Now the one thing I will say, and when I did post some pictures of the Helix once I had actually finished it a number of weeks ago on some of the Facebook forums, and I did manage to upset I think 1 or 2 people because the Helix runs anti-clockwise. Ideally the Helix should run clockwise so that your locomotives are going up the outer track. Now the Helix hasn't been built the wrong way around, as somebody delighted in telling me. The Helix is built this way around to allow it to tie in to the existing layout. And if I pan just a little bit to the left, you will see that I am currently working on the new track layout. As you can see, the existing tracks, which were a couple of loops on the outer circuit, they have gone. And you can see the new track coming off the Helix where the Class 08 is sitting just now. You can see the new track coming off the Helix and coming into some new point work. And you can see on the left hand side you'll see a track bearing off to the left, and that's actually the first tie-in to the existing layout. The rest of the layout has not been changed, so don't worry, it's not all disappeared, it's just one section of the layout that has changed. So that's why the actual Helix itself is built anti-clockwise. Now what this person who delighted in telling me that the Helix was built the wrong way around didn't in actual fact know is that there are a set of crossovers at the bottom of the Helix which you can't actually see in this shot. And there are also a set of crossovers at the top. So that means that for my larger train formations, they will actually cross over from the inside to the outer track, and they will go up on the outer track as they probably should do. But when they get to the top, they will actually switch over so that when they come out onto the scenic section, they are in actual fact running on the correct line. Diesel multiple units and light engine movements, they will go up the inside track. I've tested both tracks extensively, and on the inside track a 8-car HST, my East Coast HST unit, it goes up the 3rd radius track without any problem whatsoever. The gradient on the Helix is 2%, but as you get further up, the gradient in actual fact gets less. Some of the bits, the gradient's only around about 1.7, so it's not a severe gradient in terms of the actual rise from the lower to the upper baseboard. The actual total distance from upper to lower baseboard is 15 inches. So that's the height that the Helix is dropping or rising the trains from. Now, as I said, I did have a couple of issues in building the Helix, and what I'll do is I'll describe what those are in the next section. So I've actually come down onto the floor to try and describe some of the issues that I had with the Helix. So what you're looking at here are two sections of the 6mm roadbed that's used to build the Helix. Now, in order to make a circle, you need 4 of these. Now, I laid these out before I actually started anything. I laid them out on the floor, to make sure that they made a circle, and that I could actually lay a 4th radius track around the actual Helix boards, or the track boards, before I actually started to build. So that was absolutely fine. The only problem that I discovered was that when I put down the 4th roadbed, the 4th roadbed should obviously butt in to the start of the first one, but it didn't. It overlapped it by probably around 25-30 mm. So that meant that every roadbed, every 4th roadbed and every circle I had to cut. Not a major issue, but a little bit annoying nevertheless. So that was issue number 1. Issue number 2 were these here. So in the kit you get a huge big bag of spacers. Now, these spacers are nothing fancy. They are in actual fact UPVC plastic piping that plumbers would use. And in the instructions they say that these are supposed to be 38mm, and you use these to space the distance between each level of the Helix. However, when I measured them, I discovered that they ranged in size from 35mm up to 41. So I had to, or initially I didn't use obviously anything that was below 38mm, and I had to cut down the larger sized pieces to obviously bring them back to 38mm. Now, if I then come back up to the actual Helix itself, now you'll notice that in the Helix these don't appear, and that's because when I started to fit these in and started to build the Helix, the problem was that the coaching stock didn't actually pass by it. It interfered with the coaching stock. So initially I cut these in half so that I still had the spacing, but I didn't have any front section of the tube. That certainly solved the problem, but as I started to progress up, I decided that really I didn't really need these. I only really needed these to make the distance right, and I could actually take these out, these half rounds out, and use the screws or the nuts to tighten everything up. So that was the second issue that I had, was these spacers. Third issue that I had, and I come back down here, was with the penny washers. So in the bag, in the kit, you get loads of the packets of nuts, and you get loads of these penny washers. Now, what I'll do is I'll actually show you, because somebody did say how does the kit actually go together. So I'll actually go up to the actual Helix, and I'll try and demonstrate how the kit goes together and what the issue was with these penny washers. So I've come back up to the top of the Helix, and as you can see there's some threaded rod here that I've not cut off at the moment. So the principle of building this kit is very, very straightforward. You simply put down first of all a small nut. What then slides down is the penny washer. The kit comes supplied with these, if I get that into camera, these 6mm MDF spacers. So those spacers are the same thickness as the roadbed. The roadbed sits obviously on the front of the washer. You then put another washer on top, like that. You obviously need to imagine that there's a track bed in there. And then you put another washer onto the top of that and screw that down. And what that does is it basically makes a sandwich. If you excuse my large fingers, but you make a sandwich and it's held absolutely tight. And that is the principle. That's how you join each section of roadbed together. Very, very simple. The issue that I had with the penny washers was that there wasn't a lot of catch, if you like, on the actual roadbed. You're only literally just catching the roadbed. So what I did was I went to good old B&Q and I bought basically the next size of washer up, same diameter hole in the middle, but it's slightly larger, and that resolved the problem, because if you look down here you can see the larger washer there, and it's clearly catching the roadbed without any problem at all. So those were the three issues that I had with the Helix. So one were the roadbeds not being the exact size, two, the spacers, which I ended up not using, and three, the penny washers, which were just a little bit too neat. That having been said, for the money that I paid for the kit, I can't really complain all that much. I will go back to the guy that built it. I don't want to say to people don't buy the kit, because I was able to build it and the kit does work. I wouldn't recommend it maybe for somebody who has never built a Helix or is perhaps not great at DIY, but if you're pretty good at, if you like, doing flat pack furniture and you can do the sort of basic DIY, then yeah, you could in actual fact build this kit. And the question would be, would I buy another one? Strange as it may seem, I might very well actually buy another kit off him, because obviously there is a second Helix to go at the opposite end of the train room. But this is Helix number 1. If I actually just pan around there, you'll actually see the crossover there that I mentioned before. So there's a crossover at the top, so that when trains come up, if you like, the wrong line on the outside, they'll be able to cross over, and when they come out onto the scenic section, they'll be running on the correct line. So obviously what I think I'll do now is put some power on, because I've actually now got some power to the Helix, and I have got the Voyager 220 class 220 sitting at the bottom, and we'll let it run up and onto the actual layout. It will run out of power round about here, because obviously I'm in the process of building a new junction here, so it's only partially wired. I don't need to worry about it running off the end of anything. So let's run this 220 up the Helix. So as a demonstration, it's just shown the Farish 220 Voyager has come up the Helix without really all that much difficulty. Bearing in mind this model doesn't have a great motor inside it. A lot of people have complained that it's actually very slow, and it is actually very slow. That was the actual locomotive almost in full speed as it was going up the Helix. The HST actually goes up the Helix much better than that 220, but the 220 is got longer carriages, so it's been used for gauging purposes. So just to come back, so just to sort of complete or give the roundup. So the Helix, number one, Helix is built. Yes, it's built anti-clockwise. That's not a mistake. It's built that way so that the exit would come off at the back, so that it would tie into this part of the layout. If I'd built it clockwise, the exit would have come off somewhere around about here, and I would then have to have had some sort of floating baseboard right the way across to then tie it into this part of the layout, and I would have missed everything out here. So the easiest way to tie it in was actually to make it anti-clockwise. But as you probably saw at the top, there is a set of crossovers, and there's a set of crossovers, as I said, at the bottom. So trains will still go up the outside track, the fourth radius track, if they're really long rakes. The one thing I would say, the other Helix, which is at the other end, which will get built at the other end of the room, it will actually go clockwise. Just the way it sits naturally, it will go clockwise, so there won't be any issue. It won't be required to put in any crossovers to have train switching tracks. So that's the first bit of the extension done. I'm now obviously concentrating on this area here. There's a lot of work to be done here in terms of new points, etc., new junctions, and obviously the control panel. I've spent quite a bit of time actually de-wiring part of the control panel, which is almost complete, but that's for another day. Now, some of you will notice sitting just in the background there that Blackwood has got a new member of the fleet, and that is the Cato Class 800 in LNER livery. This actually only arrived this week, and I have to say I'm exceptionally impressed with this model. Some of you, when I was giving my monologue at the start of the video, you'll have seen it actually running past me. So I think what I'll do now is I'll leave you. I'm going to finish this video off because this video is really just about the Helix. We'll finish this off with some running shots of the Azuma. If anybody wants to talk or email me about the actual Helix kit, if you go to the About section of my YouTube channel, you get my email address, and if you want to email me and you want to speak to me, give me your mobile number. I'm more than happy to talk to you, to tell you who actually built this kit. This purpose of this is not to rubbish the manufacturer. He is obviously a one-man band, and it's his livelihood and business, and it's not for me to say whether you should buy or not buy the kit. All I have done is try to describe some of the issues that I had, which were all overcome, and as you can see, the Helix is there in its entirety. So we'll leave with some running shots of the Class 800 Azuma from Cato, and I'll catch you all soon on the next video with some further updates. Hopefully maybe we'll have some more track laid, and we might be able to actually get the trains actually back out onto the main layout. Although they're up on level with the layout, they still can't run out onto the main layout. There's still a bit more track to be done. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all very soon. Thanks, bye.